Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 14 of Tifosi Time, the sixth highest ranking Italian soccer podcast with three hosts under 40. I'm Frank. Fellas, say hello.
My name's right there. Hello.
Hey, look at this fancy new layout.
New format. Let's go. Let's get it on.
We now have as many layouts to the show as we have actual subscribers. Thumbs up on that one. It's getting better every week.
It is. There's a lot to talk about this week. I think we should just get into it because there's tons of different topics that we can go into. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't. Nothing comes to mind. Well, let's start with Rossi. We're gonna start with this. It's a lot of
Only the happy years.
Yeah, well, this is happening too much lately in Italian soccer. So I made this little graphic over here, and I watched some videos on him, and I read some stuff on him because we were all too young to even. I wasn't even born in the '82 World Cup. Frank, you were barely. I don't even think you were walking yet.
I was too. Technically, I was in Italy that year. However, I don't remember that either. So
yeah. So he's Chris. You know anything about him? I mean, like obviously you've heard of him and stuff, but
yeah, I've never seen him play or anything.
Yeah, no. I mean, he was regarded probably as like one of the greatest strikers of all time, right, Frank?
He's forever locked in Italian soccer folklore for sure, right? And anyone that can help bring a World Cup championship and kind of take over the spirit of a country for an entire summer, right? Memories that you made. I mean, I know I'm still celebrating the 2006 World Cup. So
exactly.
Every now and then, Frank will send a text, and it's just a goal from the World Cup.
Yeah, usually it's the final couple minutes of the Germany Italy World Cup semifinal with the two goals that we scored there with Grosso and Del Piero. I mean, come on, that still gives me chills. So
yeah, so I mean, we have those memories, and then people older than us have the memories of the '82 World Cup team, and just him. It's funny. I was reading his story, and he was suspended for 2 years. I don't know if you guys know that he was part of like a whole match fixing scandal in Italy, where like it was like 5 or 6 clubs that got punished for it. So right before the World Cup, the 2 years before the World Cup, he was out of the league. He was suspended. He didn't come back until like a few weeks before the World Cup started, and he was playing awful in the beginning of the World Cup. They were even thinking about like substituting him out, but he turned it around against Brazil, who were the heavy favorites. He scored a hat trick in that game and ended up scoring 6 total goals in that World Cup. He won, Player of the Tournament, the Golden Ball, Golden Boot. He won the Player of the Year that year in '82. So that was just like. Him going from the bottom to the top like so quick in that that little span, which is crazy to see.
Yeah, I think that was part of it, right? With Brazil being such a heavy favorite, I think in that game beating Brazil also kind of added to the whole thing. What's really funny, as I heard you kind of talking about that story, it's amazing how many parallels there are to that and before the 2006 World Cup with the. With Juventus going through the whole
their scandal of their own. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Italy kind of all Italian soccer being kind of under like pressure of was it fixed or not fixed, and apparently it's a rallying cry for the Italians. I don't know.
Yeah. So they went on to beat Brazil, who were the heavy favorites. Then they beat Argentina, who were the defending champions, and then I think they beat Poland. They beat West Germany. They had a good run, and they deserved, to win in the end. But he was mostly the reason why, scoring 6 goals in like the last 3 games. Because the first 3 games of the tournament, like he did nothing, and they were thinking about benching him, and they kept him in one last game before Brazil that he scores a hat trick, and then just kept going with it. But like I said, widely regarded as one of the greatest Italian strikers of all time. He won top goal scorer in '77. Played for a bunch of different teams. He wasn't one of those guys that just stuck to one team and was faithful to him. He moved around a lot. But I figure we should just start off with him because for the older people, that watch this, like our father, he can probably tell us a lot more than we can about him.
Much respect to Paolo, and rest in peace.
Yeah. So Serie did the before each game they did moment of silence, and then they played that famous call from the announcer before each game. So it was nice to see. And he was young. And the crappy part about the story, I don't know if you guys also saw this during his funeral, the house was robbed because nobody was home and people went to go rob his house. So that kind of sucks.
I did not hear that. That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
People suck. So, all right, Don, let's move on. Let's go on from that.
With those downers, what else we got?
Yeah, sorry about that.
So really quickly before we start talking about individual games, I'm sure you guys noticed, but that was probably the worst week of defensive football I've seen. Red cards, own goals, giveaways. That was awful. From every game, there was mistakes. It was really bad, just in general.
I think, it was pretty bad. I think it's kind of been going on though, right? Weren't we talking about that
this was glaring to me though, bad fouls, red cards, own goals. Just I don't know. This week stuck out more than weeks past. That's all I know.
Yeah, I mean we've been saying it. Italy's not as defensive as it used to be. They don't practice as much as they used to because the schedule is so crazy. So you're going to see more mistakes and sloppy play. You see more goals though. All right, you guys start us off. Look at this. Score is right. Look at that. 3-1. Oh, look at that.
I would wait to see all of them before you start celebrating, but okay, we're off to a good start.
That's true. 3-1 Juventus. Let's start with Chris. What did you think about the game?
I thought they played well. It was nice to see Dybala finally get one, right? And it was, as much crap as I give Bonucci, I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but after he scored the goal and they're all celebrating and stuff, and he's yelling at people on the bench to come over and congratulate him because they know he's been going through a rough time, and everyone came on the field and was giving him a hug and stuff. That was props to Bonucci. As much as I hate him, I thought that was good. As far as the game, they played well. That second penalty, I kind of wish Ronaldo was just here you go, Morata, take it. It was his. I get it. He's not going to give up penalties and stuff, but
I don't think that was a penalty. To be fair, I don't think that should have been called.
I don't know.
Which one was that? I'm trying to think. Which one? That was
the goalie came out.
I agree with that because he got the ball first. I kind of agree with that. He deflected the ball.
Regardless, I still think Ronaldo should have been hey, here you go.
No, that would have been nice. Even to Morata or even to Dybala, right? Hey, you got off the schneid. Here's a second one for you.
I think Dybala was out of the game by then, probably.
Oh, was he out at that point?
Yeah.
McKennie is quickly turning into my favorite player. The fact that he's American just makes it all the better, right? He's been playing great. We're not talking about the Euro game, the Champions League game, but that goal was friggin' awesome, right?
It was a good take. He was also
anybody could have scored that. That was
but still, no, Matuidi could not have scored that.
Even Matuidi might have scored that.
Well, anyway, I love the way that they play.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm all on the McKinney bandwagon too, right? I think he's definitely should earn his spot there. I was actually really impressed with Chiesa too, in a weird way. He wasn't too involved throughout the game, but when he did touch the ball, he was either decisive in his runs. I thought he made some good crosses. He took on some people, and I thought he did some nice covering back too. So I felt like he made his presence known when he needed to be around the ball. I thought he did pretty decent.
Yeah. Shout out to Quadrado too, drawing another penalty. He always has a positive influence on the game. Yeah,
he's had a couple games straight now where he's had nice crosses, right, that have led to goals or straight chances. I feel like he had a couple didn't he have a couple versus Barcelona, I think, and then he had another. So yeah, he's been positive for sure. Yeah.
I think the troubling part of that game is the one time Genoa gets the ball down the other side of the field, they score. I mean, if you look back at the highlight, Sandro, for some reason, has to cover two people because Bonucci's either out of position or Chiesa's not tracking back. And it was just like, hey, I got a guy in front of me. I got a guy behind me. He goes for the guy in front of him. The guy behind him is wide open. Stuaro, the Juventus killer, has two of his career 6 goals are against Juventus.
Yeah, that was troubling. That was troubling. How
it was just too easy.
Yeah, it was too easy. Pellegrini made a nice cross, but it was like the guy was wide open. They lost track of who they were marking, and then there you go. It's 1-1. Like, you can't do that. I think that was one of the few times Genoa even had the ball in our half.
Listen, I mean, they had two shots on goal. Juventus dominated possession. I mean, I was on Reddit at halftime, and the live thread, people were like flipping out, like Juventus, they suck, they, this, that. I'm like, guys, are you watching the game? Like they dominated that half. Like, people are stupid. I don't know. Like they dominated that half. It was like
all
the
they
goal
were
was
missing
coming. It was coming.
All they were missing was putting the final ball in the net, right? Which they've struggled with, to be fair, right? They've had other games where they have possession and they end up tying 1-1. But in terms of like holding possession and pressing the other team into their own half of the field, I mean, you can't really expect more than what they did because Genoa really didn't do much at all.
Yeah.
So really quickly, how scared were you guys? Like the first minute Rabiot gets a yellow, I was like, Jesus Christ, it's going to happen again.
Which the yellow, because he got the yellow because he was bracing himself on the goalpost because he didn't want to slam his face into the post. And if the ball hits his arm, you're giving yellow.
By the way, with that, I mean, that was kind of wussy, wasn't it? Like, he didn't want to smack his head on the post. And he
you texted us that.
I did, because he could have scored. Instead, he saw the post in the middle of his peripheral, and he was like, "Oh, I don't want to smack my face in here." So he doesn't get to the ball and hits him in the hand.
Yeah.
And goes,
so going off that, one thing I can say, at least Pirlo, I don't know, he kind of learned maybe. Like, he took him out in the 60th minute or so. Like, what's the point? Why are you going to chance another yellow, right? Like, because that has 100% happened before.
Yeah, several times this season it's happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that was just a dumb yellow card. But yeah, for me, McKinney was very, very good. Just so active, and there's times where he's the only one making runs. He's playing center forward. He's making the runs in between the two forwards, and just being at the 6-yard box, ready to head any ball in. He's just very active. It's fun to watch him. And then Cuadrado on the side has been great. Those are the two that stand out for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think Genoa, I mean, it depends how you look at the game, right? They kept it pretty tied until the 60th minute, right? 1-1. So I guess they could say they were playing their game with their plan. But I mean, that's what happens when you let the other team totally close you in and control the ball. Like, it may look like you're close, and all of a sudden you lose 3-1, right? So I don't know. I know it's Genoa. I know they're playing Juventus, but I'm like, I still would expect a little bit more from them. Their team has some decent players.
I mean, Scamacca didn't even get the ball. He got it twice the entire game. That kid's got skills. You would like to see him get a chance to play with the ball a little bit.
Even Piazza didn't do anything.
Yeah, they didn't have the ball at all. So
Rovella had a nice game.
Rovella, I felt bad because he got hurt. Fouled. Well, he fouled Cuadrado. Cuadrado just beat him with the feet. I mean, that kid's 19 years old. He's going to learn. How to defend a little bit better, but
even that tackle, that was a foul. To remember correctly, he did get some of the ball.
No, he didn't. That was a foul. No, he didn't.
I just hate penalties.
But that was a legit penalty. I wouldn't have gave the Morata one a penalty though. That wasn't a penalty match.
Yeah, no. You know what Cuadrado did good there? He leaned into it, right? He went in. He
shielded the ball.
He shielded with his body with his near post, so it forced the contact from the defender. But in terms of the actual, it was. But no, I thought he played a good game up to that.
And Dybala, I don't think Dybala was anything crazy, but he got a goal, and that's what he needed. He needs to score. He needs to start putting it in.
And his goal was nice, right? It was the only goal he had from run of play.
Yeah, McKinney passed it to him. He slid it in near post. It was nice as well.
Well, if you remember, like that's all. If it wakes him up, next thing you know, like he could have 10 games and score 6-7 goals, right? Which would put him on track.
Yeah. All right. Not too much more to say about this game, right? Yeah,
no, except they got the points, right? They could have had a letdown after the Barcelona game, and especially the way the game started, and it was 0-0 and then 1-1 quickly tied. So the good thing is they were able to get the points, right? Where I think a month ago they were tied that game 1-1. So, hopefully it's a little step forward.
Just the one last thing on Dybala's goal. It was nice to see, and it was all in the newspapers too, like him and Pirlo, like just embracing each other and like so happy for him to score. So you see it there. It's not like Dybala's a hated player. Like everyone likes him. He's.
What would be the reason to hate him?
I mean, if you see from what fans want him out of here. Some fans are crazy, and they're like,
who wants him out of here?
It's just crap you read online. Just
not us.
No, I'm not saying.
I don't read trash magazines.
Yeah,
magazines.
No, but I think I think ultimately, if Juventus really starts to click, I think it's going to be getting their midfield in order, but then it's going to be some combination of Dybala, Morata, and Ronaldo up top. I think if they really get clicking, that's the most dangerous Juventus. We just need to get the rest of the team to kind of be able to support that in terms of, winning the ball and defending.
Yeah.
And Dragusin got his first. Dragusin, I don't know how to say his name. He got his first minute.
The under-19 Romanian.
Yeah, which is nice.
I mean, physically he looks much older. Yeah, and much
nice man
fit. Yeah. I mean, nice man bun. I like that as well. Is he the father of dragons?
All right, Dom, let's go to the next game. I don't know which one you have.
Yes, producer, we can't see the chat. No one's talking but you.
Talking to yourself. Nice. Inter, my favorite team to talk about. 3-1 winners. Did you guys watch this game?
I was gloating when they were losing 1-0.
You were.
For sure. I was watching. I saw Barella's goal, which was a nice finish. But I don't know, man. They should win the league now. They have no other games.
Well, that's what I was going to say, right? So after the huge debacle of getting knocked out of the Champions League, I think 41 minutes in, when they're down 1-0, Conte is real close to getting fired. Right?
That's what I said. He goes, he's not getting fired. Get out of here. $12 million.
First of all, on the whole firing thing, just before you go on that. First of all, he's getting $12 million a year for I don't know how many more years he has. But also, you have to think of who are you hiring to replace him? If you can't find anyone better than him, then why the hell are you firing? But who are they going to get to replace?
So in terms of like them owing him money, right? They may not want to carry and pay multiple coaches or whatever, and who are they hiring is another argument. But if you talk about the expectations and what they did in terms of where they expect that team to be knocked out of the Champions League, and then if they were to lose, the way they were losing to Cagliari, he definitely would have been on the hot seat. I don't know if they would have pulled the trigger, but it could have spiraled out of control quick.
You're the under 23 team coach, like Juventus did. There you go. Right?
Yes, because that's definitely working out for them too. So Teal's goal, Handanovic. I don't know if you guys have noticed, the guy doesn't dive anymore.
He's lost his step.
He doesn't dive anymore. He really doesn't. Like he'll just turn his head and be like, "Oh, can't get to that one. That's a goal." like it's funny. Like I've noticed that more and more. And in a lot of people online, again, I know you don't follow the online stuff, but Cragno, everyone, all these Inter fans are saying, "Sign Cragno, sign him. You need a replacement. You need a new goalie, all that stuff." Because Cragno made some nice saves that game.
Well, Cragno was good.
Yeah, he's just always injury prone and all that. But I think Inter seriously need to start looking at a replacement for him, because he doesn't move anymore. He just stands there.
Maybe his eyes has gotten better.
Oh yeah, he just knows all the trajectory and all the He's like, oh, that's going wide. He's like, that's hitting the post. That's fine.
Listen, let's listen to the lie. He's no 43-year-old Buffon. That's for sure.
No, he's not though. Buffon dives more than him and will move more than him.
Buffon made how many beautiful saves does Barcelona made a week?
So I was gonna say like Handanovic is old now, like he's 37, but then I'm thinking like we have Buffon who's 43. It's like there's really no excuse. Like I think
Buffon's just as good as Szczesny. Let's not lie. Buffon's just as good as Szczesny.
Oh, I would be just as confident if Buffon started a Champions League game or Szczesny. I don't care either one. They're interchangeable in my eyes.
Yeah.
So real question: what do you think is the actual final date for Buffon? You think it's 45? You think he goes beyond that?
I think it all depends if they won a Champions League this year. I think he would retire, but I don't think they're winning a Champions League, so I think he's going to keep playing.
Listen, the weird thing about this season though is you never know, right? Like it's one of those things. If they grow into the team at the right moment, especially with Champions League, when it ends up being like knockout, it's possible. They could also get knocked down in the next round. So
anyway, let's get back to Inter. So I'm not going to say that Inter played terribly. Like they did dominate the game for the most part. They had tons of shots. They had the possession. Like I said, Cranio made a lot of saves. If Dom puts that graphic back up, I'll tell you who scored because I can't remember it off the top of my head. But Barella had a nice goal, a comebacker from he was standing outside the box. He volleyed it, nice goal. Then he had the cross to D'Ambrosio for the winning goal, and then Lukaku just put in. He dribbled Cranio at the 50-yard line and just put it in at the end to cap it off. But Eriksen was a disappointment again. Like he finally got his chance. Like I think in the last 6 games or something like that, like he only played 15 total minutes. So then he gave him a random start, and he played like crap.
So they were talking about this on the broadcast that I guess Conte the entire game was just yelling, and it was all directed towards Eriksen the entire game. Literally, like everything he was yelling was just him. And it was just someone was doing an interview afterwards. I forget who it was, but they were saying that it was just him yelling at Eriksen the entire time.
Well, so speaking of interviews, I mean, I heard that he pretty much blamed the refs for getting knocked out of the Champions League.
Dude, I mean, I don't know if you guys want to talk about the Champions League now because we didn't talk about
I just want to make fun of Conte.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. He did. He blamed the refereeing. He can't take it on the chin like he should, and just admit that he sucked for 6 games. Shakhtar they beat last year in the Europa League 5-0. They played them twice this year and did not score 1 goal against them.
Yep, 0-0.
Exactly.
Right?
That's embarrassing.
Like, look at the roster that they have on this game, right? The starters. I mean, you have what? How many people would you legit say that if you possibly might be a little bit interested? I would say Bastoni is the only one for sure. Maybe Barella. Everyone else is
Barella is one of the top 3 Italian midfielders.
Lukaku's old already. I'm saying, like, how old is he? He's 30, right?
No, I don't think he's 30 yet.
And
let me do Googleizing.
No, Inter. Don't say Inter has a bad roster. Is that what you're trying to say? They have a bad roster?
No, I'm not saying they have a bad roster. I'm saying that they're exactly the reason they should be expected to do better, right? They have a roster of all mature, like, people later in their prime. It's not young kids like Milan. Mm-hmm. It's not young kids like AC Milan. So like when you bring in all these guys like Vidal and all these boys, like you can't get knocked out in the first round. No, and like you said, how old? All right, so he's 27. So
he's entering. He's a prime. His prime.
But the point is, what you guys said earlier, right? Like the fact that they have one tournament to care about now. I mean, they literally should win.
So that's the selling point to the fans and to everyone. Listen, we got to go after the title. This is all we have, and trust the process or whatever.
Who would buy that? Who would buy that? Uncle Roy. Like you're telling me, if you're an Inter fan right now, you're gonna tell me, it's good we got knocked out of the Champions League because now we can really give it a go for Serie A. Like you're telling me, like that wasn't on the table before. Like if he can sell you that, then you deserve to be a loser. Like, I'm sorry, like that's the biggest bait and switch I've ever seen, right? Like, why do you have a roster of 47 players if you're only going for Serie A?
Well, so I think people are on their way out for sure, especially now. Like Eriksen, there's already a rumor today he wants PSG now.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Yeah, Ericsson's going to go, I would think, in January. But I mean, a lot of these people too, you can't move. Like Perisic wants out, I would assume too. Like he can't find a stronghold on the side over there. He's not playing well. He just doesn't fit well in the system. So
who's going to take him?
No, that's the thing. Like they had to loan him last year because nobody would take him. So I don't think you can say you want to get rid of these people, but A, you got to find somebody to take him, and B, you're in the middle of the title race. Do you want to shake up your team that much? So I don't think there's going to be as many moves as you think there are, because typically in January there aren't that many moves.
Yeah, there's not going to be any money for people to buy these people. So we got a question. So what place does Inter finish in? What do you guys think?
Right now, what do I think Inter finishes in? Third.
Yeah, do they make the top 4?
Yeah. They make top 4.
Yeah, I'm saying
they literally have no games. It's they have just this to concentrate on. Italian.
Listen, they absolutely should make the top 4. But I'm still saying Milan comes ahead of them. I'm saying Juventus comes ahead of them, and I'm still saying Atalanta comes ahead of them.
No, we're gonna talk about Atalanta because there's been some crazy stuff going on.
Well, I'm still saying they come ahead of them.
Okay. Well, all right. So we talked about Juventus this week. We talked about Inter this week. For those fans who just joined in, we see I have a commenter in there. Parola just came in there. So let's move on to another.
Really quickly, Parola, where do you think Inter's finishing this season? I would love to hear your opinion. What place?
He's gonna.
This should be good. Let's see where
he's gonna stay 5th. If he says top 4, I'll be shocked because he just anytime you drag on them.
You guys said top 4 for sure.
Yeah, I think top 4 for sure.
Listen, if these are the only games you're playing in and you don't finish top 4, that's a disgrace. You should get demoted to Serie B. Like that. I'm sorry, that's awful.
Right, I'm still saying that they come behind those 3 teams: Juventus, Milan, and Atalanta, and maybe Sassuolo.
All right, Dom, throw up another game. I'm sick of talking about it.
What's the next game?
My team. The team I love more than Juventus these days.
Did we all get this correct? I think we all said we thought Hell's Verona was going to win.
You guys are jumping on my back, and I hate that.
I believe I got the score correct too. I said 2-1.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so 2-1 Hellas Verona. I want a shekel or 2 on this game. Let me tell you.
I still can't get my account unlocked. So
actually, just me seeing Verona every week in and week out. They lined up a little differently this week. Tomeze played a lot more forward. Yeah, he played a lot more advanced than usual. We got a comment over there. Hi guys,
American Sportive. What? Some jerk? What do you say?
I don't know if it got cut off the screen. So Tomeze played a little bit more forward, and they put Barak a little more, further back. So it was a nice little switch up. They started Salcido, one of their younger players, but own goal by Lazio first. Then Caicedo comes back, and Caicedo scored a nice goal. It was a quick from outside the 18. It was just a pretty much a laser beam to the far post, unstoppable. Tomeze comes back. He was very productive and a nuisance up top. It was weird to see him play almost like a center forward role.
He's been good, man. They've been playing him more advanced, and he's been doing really well up there.
Yeah, that's not what he's used to doing, though. Like, you're used to seeing him playing a little more withdrawn. And they played Verona playing the way they play. They play up to their competition. Those top teams they play well against, and they're on a roll. And I think they're in 6th place.
I see Chris laugh.
So really quickly, I'm looking on the actual site.
Yeah, I can't read that.
Says, hi guys. Yesterday on the Domenica Sportiva, some jerk said that the championship, I guess Napoli and Inter can win, and he forgot to mention Juventus completely.
Yeah, well, we know where they're biased towards. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, to mention the title winner without Juventus is just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been the last 9 years. Yeah, why would they be in consideration?
Mm-hmm.
So, did you guys watch any of this game?
I watched most of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was binge watching Schitt's Creek.
Ew, David.
Ew, David.
So, there's not much to say about this other than Lazio. They did their part for the Champions League, which was nice to see. They solidified their spot. They got second in the group, and then they had a little letdown right here, which is expected when you're playing every 3 games and you don't have, Alberto's not in, and they don't have Correa in. It's this stuff's gonna happen. But I can tell you, Radu on Tameze's goal, freaking awful. Just gave the ball away, and he was really the culprit of why that happened.
So my thing is, I don't know, are they missing players on defense too? Because why is Parolo?
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. They don't have a full lineup. Parolo's not a defender. He plays center midfield, and they had to do like an emergency kind of, put him in defense kind of thing. So they weren't at full force. So this was a game.
Play with who you got.
Of course, yeah.
What does it say?
Parolo said Lazio's already tired. Listen, they got a tough draw too coming up in this Champions League. We'll talk about it.
So my question is, will Verona keep it to the end of the season and end up challenging for a Euro spot?
Top 6, you say?
Top 6. No. If you're saying top 6, I'll say top 6.
Yeah, top 6, I think so.
You think top 6? That's what I'm
saying.
Chance
that they can hover around there. Yeah.
You think they're going to more than 6th place?
More than what?
More than 6th place, they're not getting.
No, I know. Do you think they have a shot at 6?
Yeah,
for sure. They're in 6 right now, I think.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think they stay the whole year?
Yeah. Obviously, it matters with injuries and stuff, but they have a team of mostly, some loanees. They have people that they got for cheap, and they're going to stick with their roster. They're not buying anyone. You got to see if they sell Lovato. That's what you got to see. But you're right.
Mid-year?
Well, it might be a loan thing, like sell him and then loan back. But I think he would stay. Everyone on that roster is staying for this season.
So Parolo's saying you see Lovato and Magnani. Magnani, apparently, I guess he was on Juventus and they sold him?
Yeah, when he was younger.
Yeah. Of course they did.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They're going to sell him to you and then buy him back at 4 times the price. That's how we do business.
So that's also
by the way, there were some awards given out, and Agnelli won some top executive of the year or some crap. I don't know. The BS award that is.
Who voted on that? The Fiat group?
Zeta had that, right? I thought they had an award thing.
Well, listen, anyway. Who else are you gonna give it to? Camisa?
Camisa. All right, let's move on, Dom. We got the Milan Parma slide next, right? So this game, a lot of people are nervous about this game just because of how Parma plays. Kind of, they play all these top teams pretty tough, and they go out to a 2-0 lead. Gabbia got hurt in like the second minute I was watching, and they put in Kalulu, I think that's how you say it, the young French kid, who didn't play terrible, but Gervinho kind of ate him up on the side on the first goal, and put it between his legs, and Hernani, put the ball in. Then Kurtic again comes from the middle on a rebound and scores 2-0. And then Theo Hernandez scores 2 goals. Someone who, Theo Hernandez, Milan relied on them a lot last year. Like, he was one of their better players, and they would go, he would come up with huge goals. You haven't seen that as much this year.
He had a great game. This was a great game.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. He had a great game. Like, he had a game like last year. Mm-hmm. But 2-2 against Parma, honestly, not a terrible result. Like, they play the good teams pretty tough.
So they hit 4 posts too, Milan.
Yes. So that was the other thing. Like, yes, I'm not. But this is the type of game Parma plays. Like, they're defensive. They counterattack. They have their 4 chances. They score 2 of them, and all of a sudden, they got 2 goals. But Chananoglu, hit 3 posts himself. They hit 4 total posts. They had tons of shots. Seppi made some saves.
This game pissed me off because I had a 6-game parlay, and of course this was the last game, and they screwed me. So good job, Milan.
Yeah, I can't see what the chat says. It's too small.
Should have cashed out.
So you said that's what Perisic does. It's his specialty, I guess, selling players and buying them back. And then he said Hernandez is good.
Yes, Hernandez. He's going to be. You would think on the French national team very, very soon. As like a mainstay.
They're just so stacked, that team.
Yeah.
I still think. I know Milan's playing good, but I'm surprised that Tonali doesn't play more.
Well, he came in. He was subbed in. Yeah, he doesn't. You're not going to start over those two guys.
You're not.
Like they're too good. Like any team in the league.
Yeah, no, but even that, like I'm hoping he raises his game to kind of get in the conversation, right?
So he might start the next week or two. Well, you think he has to because Benacer's out at least 10 days. I heard because he got hurt during that game.
He hurt his hamstring, so he's going to be out for at least 10 days. So unless they put Krunic in, but I think Tonali will get a chance.
I hope so.
Ibra, Zlatan is been cleared to practice with the team. So he will be coming back very soon. So you got to say, like, he's been out for a few games. They didn't lose one of the games. They did their part. Everyone says they
didn't win either.
No, they won some of them.
Yeah, they didn't win this week.
Everyone says they're so Zlatan dependent, but they've proved that they can get points still without him. So because Rebic is out of position, to be honest. Like he's not a center forward. He plays on the left wing. And that's where he plays best. He's a different player when he's in the middle. So, they did well, considering they didn't have him. I don't have anything to rag on Romagnoli for, actually, and I usually do. It's disappointing. All right, let's run down the rest of the games. Sassuolo Benevento.
Really quickly, all right, I don't know. I tried to look it up. Where's Caputo? He's dead? I can't find when he's coming back.
Caputo's corner.
I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. I figured you would. But
I tried to the other day, and it was just last article was 2 weeks ago. I'm like, cool.
I don't know. Aren't you the Caputo fan club president? Should you tell us this stuff?
Right. Also, there was a disgusting red card in that game. That was
I was going to mention Harrelson on Sassuolo did a disgusting tackle on Letizia, the one with the knife in the hat. He stepped on his ankle and got a red card. It was an awful tackle.
You got a red card for that?
It was bad. You should watch it.
Sassuolo scored on a penalty shot. Frank loves those penalty shots. It was a handball in the box. Berardi scored it. Consigli played pretty well. He had some nice saves, actually. And Sassuolo was down to 10 men for a lot of the game.
So we were talking goalies for Inter. Go get him.
He's old, too. They're not going to get him.
Who cares? He's solid, man. I love him.
Yeah, no, he played well.
The chat says Caputo is injured.
Yeah, we know he's hurt. How long
what
is he out?
What is the injury? Can you ask him what the injury is?
Probably his third leg. So this next game, Crotone Spezia. I watched this game because I like Spezia. Crotone stuck it to him, man. 4-1, their first win of the season. Spezia did not play well. They played one of their worst games.
We watched that game for some reason because you like them so much.
I do. I like them. I don't know why. Messias Jr. had 2 goals. Eduardo played nice. I haven't seen him play a lot for Crotone, but he played nice on the left side. Retza scored, the Atalanta. He scored also 4-1. 5 points they have now, still in last place, but it was nice 3 points.
Turns around this week.
Torino Udinese. I also won money on this one because I parlayed it with Hellas Verona.
So this game, really quickly, I was like, I don't want to watch this game because there's two of my least favorite teams to play, and it turned out to be really entertaining. Apparently,
yeah. I watched this game. There was 3 goals in the span of 5 minutes. And it was craziness. Udinese was up 2-0. Torino scores 2 quick goals. Then Udinese scores right back. Literally 2 minutes later. It was a fun one to watch, actually. And but they got a win. And I think they're in 10th place now. They really done well lately.
I still think DePaul's going somewhere.
Well, they say that. They say that every year. But
he's a good player.
Yeah. We talked about Lazio. We talked about Inter. Rome, Bologna. The only thing I want to say about this one, this game was over at halftime before halftime. It was 5-1. Frank said Mkhitaryan was not going to score another even 5 goals the rest of the season. He scored another 2, I think, yesterday. So
my prediction is still in play, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Pellegrini played well. It was nice to see him, play a little more advanced and not so far back. Scored a goal.
They're fun to watch.
Bologna played awful. I mean, if you saw the highlights, I didn't watch this game live because it was over by time. Like, I checked and there was like 3 goals, and I was like, okay, this game's over. I'm not going to watch. But like their goalie was just out of position a lot, and their defending was horrible. So
Cristante had a nice finish for Roma.
Yeah, two own goals in that game. Cristante, he juked the goalie out with that. Napoli, Samp. In this game, I was going to put Lozano as my player of the week. He came in the second half and just totally changed the game, scored a goal, assisted on the other one. A game you expect them to win, and they won. And they've won a few in a row now. They're doing really well.
It was a nice finish by Petagna.
Yeah, Petagna scored. He started, right? Yeah, I think he started. No, he didn't start. Mertens started, I think. This game now. I don't
talk about bad defense.
I don't want to talk about this game. I don't care about this game. I was expecting them to win, but what came out after this game and what came out today really was Papu Gomez got in a huge fight with Gasperini, and he wants out in January. Papu Gomez does not want to play there anymore, so he's looking to go, and he won't speak on it. He won't say specifics. He said after the transfer goes through, I will tell whatever my side of the story is or what happened exactly.
This is kiss and make up.
Yeah, this for me, Frank. You said on a lot top 4. Yeah. They are not even making top 6 if he leaves. So I don't.
First of all, he's still there now, so let's hope they can salvage it. Gasperini hopefully shows a little bit of a.
It's December 14th.
Yeah, but this is a little bit of a pattern. I mean, Castagna left too this year because he said I got in a huge fight with Gasperini. I didn't see eye to eye with him, so I had to go. Like this is happening a little too much now. Like for you, and they could totally use Castagna. Like they need a fullback.
Castagna. I said when they sold him last year, I said that was a horrible.
Yeah, and now you're losing your captain, your best player, and he said I can't do it anymore. I don't want to play with them. Like that's rough.
What could have happened? I mean, he's been there for how many years? What could have happened now? That's what I want to know.
He refused to leave all those years. He had so many They had so many offers that when they got one offer for him, Gasperini said, "You get rid of him, I'm gone." He said that at one point.
Right. So that's the thing. So what could have happened if all of a sudden now?
Why? Because he didn't play him? Did he rest him?
Well, he's been playing less lately, but I think also it has to do with they're not getting along as much. You're seeing Pessina play a lot more now. Like they're playing Darun, they're playing Freuler together, and they're putting Pessina in there to see if he can kind of step in. But I don't know. It's
well, I hope he stays for one. Or what team do you think he'll end up on if he does leave?
So that's what everyone's guessing now. I mean, they've had offers from other leagues. Like I think China had offered a while back. Is he staying in the Italian league? Are they going to sell to an Italian team? Like so many people are saying, like obviously everybody wants him. Like Milan's like, oh yeah, it's Chananoglu's going to go. He's going to have a contract. Let's just get Gomez or replace him there.
Gomez is better.
Of course, yeah. No, I'd rather have that too.
I can see Fiorentina. I can see Fiorentina. They got money.
Please no.
I mean, he would change that team. I mean, he's over 30, so Inter wants him.
Yeah. Juventus will get him and put him on the bench behind 37 other players.
Well, so that's the thing. If you can put him on a team, where are you putting him? Sassuolo?
Well, that's why I think a team like Fiorentina that could pay because Camiso has money.
No,
and I mean Ribery's old,
Yeah, but is Gomez going to want to go to Fiorentina when he's going from the Champions League team? Like he built this up and he got
that's a good point.
Champions League and he's like, oh, now I got to go to Fiorentina and fight for relegation. Like,
so he'll probably end up in England or something.
I feel bad for their fans because they love him. He's like so loved over there, and to lose him, it's gonna be tough if they actually lose him.
Yeah. Castagna did leave because he got a good offer, but he said in interviews that I'm just reading chat on the side, that he did not see eye to eye with Gasperini and he wanted to leave. That was definitely a part of it. And now you're getting this from you're getting this from Papu Gomez. It's not a good look for Gasperini. He must be very stubborn.
So he's talking about Balotelli now. Got an offer from India apparently, but then went to Monza. Which Monza, they're close to promotion, right? They're at the top of the table.
Well, that's the whole thing. They're trying to buy everyone to get. So yeah, do you guys have a spot where you want to see him, or do you think he's legitimately?
I want to see him back staying on the lawn. Is where I want to see him. But
me too.
I want to see him staying in Italy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I could see him going to Napoli. I could see him going to, like I said, Fiorentina, Milan. I mean, he can play on any of those teams.
Sassuolo, hook him up with Caputo.
Caputo, Berardi, and Papu Gomez. I think they definitely finished ahead of Inter then.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to happen, but that would be awesome to see him on there. Mm-hmm. All right, but that's kind of where I wanted to talk about them. I don't care about the game; they were expected to win that game, but the aftermath of it. And
but I will say that the goals they scored, like some of them, like the one header they scored, the defense was so bad. I was just like, "What the hell is going on? Are you guys even trying?"
Even the free kick, Malinovsky's free kick, it was a nice shot, but like Milinkovic doesn't
duck his head.
Like you duck your head. Like they just don't care that team.
Why do you put someone on the floor of the wall and then not jump?
I don't know. It looked like he actually ducked his head. Like
that's what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I saw that they were thinking about going on retreat Fiorentina. You know, like Napoli wanted to do when Ancelotti was the coach and the players refused to. I think they're on the verge of doing that retreat thing because things are going so bad over there.
So I want to shout out Zapata really quickly. He hasn't scored in a few games, but like that guy's a beast, man. Just holds the ball up, beats the crap out of players, like brings others into the game. Like he's great. I wish Juventus had him.
Where would he play?
I don't know. He's really good though.
Oh, he's good. He does do a lot outside of just scoring.
Yeah. What did he say? Man, Parolo's on fire over here. He's typing away. What's it say?
He can go anywhere, but the team that got him has to make sure does not double. I don't know. I can't speak broken Italian.
I think he's saying he has to make sure that they got a spot for him, but he's not just doubling somebody else.
You don't want to see him on the bench of Juventus and playing 2 games in the second half of the season.
So anywhere but Inter is my answer.
Yeah, essentially.
One last demand from Conte: get me Gomez, and I will bring you the championship.
And I will come in top 4 to get knocked out again next year in the first round.
Dom, you want to bring up player of the week? So the standings. I don't care what you do next. Players of the weeks again. Different choices from you two. But you guys in the beginning did give me the same player again.
So I was torn between Tameze and McKennie. But then I was like, why
didn't either of us pick McKennie? I thought we were.
I don't know. But then I was like, I liked it because of the Champions League game too. But then Danny got all mad that we can't do that. It's only the weekend.
I said, just give me one name. You guys give me 25 names.
Well, I gave it to Meze because he played awesome. He's been great in that advanced role. And another Atalanta player, right? Like
no, he's Hellas Verona, but close.
Yeah, but he played. No, he was on.
Isn't he on loan or did they buy him?
He was on loan from that. Like he came from Nice. He was like a $4 million buy. Like that's just good scouting and that's good management. But yeah, he played very well. I agree with you. In the chat, Parola said, "I'm sure you talked about it. Did you talk about the American boy?" Yes, we gushed over McKennie for a solid 10 minutes at the beginning of the episode.
Favorite player?
Yeah, he's been very, very, very good. He could
So originally for my player of the week, I think I put in McKennie and I think Chris put in McKennie, and we didn't want to have the same player again, so we both obviously changed it. So, so McKennie was a choice for both of us for player of the week, and then obviously didn't get any shout out because we both changed it. But I changed it to Dybala because, honestly, he wasn't on before the goal. Like he really wasn't in his top form. Like there was a few touches that got away from him. That normally when he's in really good form, like he brings down out of the air. He doesn't like have those missed touches. It's just little things. But what I like about it is that he stuck with it, and he finally fought through the pressure of I haven't scored yet, and he took that pass, and it was a good finish. I was just happy for him, and I think hopefully it'll turn around. The rest of the season, get him going, and I really don't want to see him leaving Juventus out of frustration. So anything that goes in that way, I'm all for, and so I picked Dybala.
Yeah, it was a big goal for him just because he hasn't scored in so long. And I picked Barella. I think he really is one of the best three Italian midfielders in the world, and he'll be on the Euro team. He played very well, goal and an assist, but just like the tenacity and the toughness, he's one of those players that you hate to play against. I actually don't like his attitude. Like, I think he whines too much. He's like annoying in that way.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That's why I don't like him either, because I think he thinks he believes his own hype a little bit.
Well, I think he got that from his coach.
That stuff annoys me, but like he backs it up. Like he can play defensively and beat the crap out of players, but also
he's skilled.
Passing is so good. Like he's smart. He's tactical. He's got good technique. He's playing really, really well. I don't know where Inter would be without him, to be honest. Like I think he's underrated for their squad. He doesn't get a lot of the pub, but he was very, very good. All right, Dom, you want to go to the standings just so we can look at it, because there was some movements.
So Parolo, I said that. I said Dybala did not have a good game into the goal. And I said he messed up. I said he messed up a lot of touches that normally he doesn't mess up. But I was giving him player of the week because he finally got his goal. So
really
I
quickly,
agree with you.
Check out 17th. Check that team out.
Yeah,
17th.
Yeah, that's not. Listen, they didn't have a coach. They don't listen. I get so much crap for that. Right? They're a good team.
Yeah, Fiorentina is amazing. They're just right around the corner turning around.
So,
they're only 10 points behind Verona.
To go back on Barella, I agree. Juventus, Inter got Barella for cheap, and that's a move that, 40-45 million at that time, it was pretty cheap. That's a move. Juventus should have made a move on him there for that price.
I could have said that about Verratti how many years ago? Morons. Right?
Yeah, but Verratti. So, from Verratti's standpoint, did he ever really? And let's be real.
Good.
I know he plays in PSG, but I don't know. I expected more out of Verratti. I don't think he ever.
I think you just have a sour taste in your mouth for him just because he's in the French league, and it's like, what the hell? You're in the French league, that league.
Well, yeah, I just don't see. I don't know. I don't think he ever really improved all that much over the last 5 years. Has he?
He's good.
I'm not saying he's not good. I'm saying, has he improved that much?
Yeah, I think he has.
Yeah, he's pretty good. All right, so we had Inter. The top four, Napoli moved into the top four, right? Because they weren't in there last week, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep in mind they had a forfeit and -1 point, right?
Yeah, they should have 24 points at least with that -1. That was stupid. They shouldn't have got that -1. But they would be in second place. So Swallows hanging in there, right? Fifth place, Rome up there. Atalanta, Frank. Top four. I don't know.
They got one less game though.
Yeah, they have a game in hand, but I don't know. I just don't. I don't.
So
see it for them.
I'm looking at this, man. The top 9 are really good teams.
It's actually a nice,
right? Like it hasn't been like this in the past.
No. And we did say that early in the year. I think it's gonna be a fascinating end for sure. Because if you look about it, like Chris just said, 9 teams. How many head-to-head matchups is that going to be over the last,
it's cool. It's
20
exciting.
weeks of the year?
Look at Parolo. You're saying, look out for Roma. That's what I've been saying. They play the prettiest game.
They're fun to watch. They don't play defense really, but they're fun to watch.
They're there, man. They're going to be there in the end, I think, too. They're going to be right there on the cusp of stealing that fourth spot.
Could you imagine if they had Zaniolo, if he wasn't hurt?
Well, that's the thing. So here's the issue they have there is rush him back like you did last year because you want to push for that spot, or do you let it play out and let him take his time and play with the players that you have?
I think you got to let him take his time. He's too valuable to rush.
I don't think he's the type of player that's going to say, yeah, let me take my time. I want to get back on there. So that's my fear is he's going to be like, no, I'm fine. I'm playing. And then he's going to get hurt again.
I think it's totally on him because there was like stories out there that he was like legit depressed when it happened, right? Like,
oh yeah, sure. I mean, he threatened to retire because he was just so frustrated. But I don't know. I think he's going to be back for them by the end of the season, and maybe that's
when was his actual injury? Wasn't it beginning of this year?
Yeah, it was early in the season. But now players
summer, right?
They're coming back from ACL injuries like 4 or 5 months. 5 months later, like it's insane now. So he can be back by the time the season's over, and definitely for the Euros.
Was it the same leg or the other leg?
It was the other one, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the other one.
Yeah. So that could be their big transfer. You know, they don't make any moves, but you get Zaniolo. Like, hey, that's better than anything you were going to get.
Well, all right. Timeout, Parolo. Slow your roll here. Listen, all right. So Sassuolo and Verona, you count. All right. They're legit teams. They could beat Juventus on any day. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
look, I don't like Udinese. I'll agree.
I picked them to get relegated, so I don't see them, being a force. But Hellas Verona is going to stay there. They're coached too well, and Sassuolo has a really good
wait until they get Caputo back.
Yeah, right.
They're coached well. They have a deep team too.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, Dom, what do we have next? We got some other stuff. All right, let's do the Champions League groups really quickly. We kind of touched on this just because we wanted to rag on Inter, but
look at that. Nice job, guys. Last place, Inter.
He's embarrassed. It's embarrassing.
So with that, they don't even get Europa League because they got the fourth slot. Big mistake by us last week because they changed it by me. Really, they changed the rules so friggin' often in these.
Oh yeah, we totally were.
I didn't know. I thought they went goal differential. Apparently, it goes head to head. Juventus won 3-0. Barcelona won 2-0. So Juventus gets the top spot. Whatever. I'm happy with that because they got an easier draw now. But just like be consistent with the rules. I feel like they're always changing that stuff. Atalanta showed up. They did what they had to do. They beat Ajax. What was it, 1-0, right?
This was the best case scenario. The three Italian teams went forward and Inter went home.
Not only that, but remember we said there are 7 teams in Europe right now. I would totally be happy if Inter was the only team who did not advance. And what happened? 6 teams advanced from the Europa League and Champions League, and Inter was the only team who didn't advance. Which for me, I slept with a smile on my face because they deserve it. They really did.
Pretty much. We got Parolo with the little joke. Caputo, I capito. So, yeah, well played there.
Someone who doesn't even play, like hasn't played in months, we talk about him a lot.
Well, it's kind of a running thing.
Yeah. So, why don't you go over to the fixtures now, the draw, so we can see who everyone's matched up against.
Mine's frozen, so I don't know if he actually did.
He did. So in the Champions League, Juventus got Porto, which, I mean, of the teams that they could play against, you can't really complain about that one. They've never lost to Porto, so hopefully that continues. But after that Lyon disgrace last year, like I don't take anything for granted.
Leon?
Leon. I said Leon.
Leon from Resident Evil.
Leon.
I hate it when we lost to Leon.
I'm about to quit this podcast. Yeah.
That was the highlight of the show. What are you talking about?
They can't complain. Atalanta versus Real Madrid. People were complaining about that. Like Real Madrid's not good anymore. Like they have
in a way for Atalanta might be good because the bigger the team, the better they seem to play, and especially if they try to go out and attack.
Yeah, I mean, like I said.
Question: does Parolo actually look at the screen? Because I'm sure it's on the screen right now. Okay.
It's a delay of what? 37 minutes?
Listen, we keep bragging on them like always, but yes, they will watch, and it's going to be fun to see them watch.
Ask him if he wants to come on as a guest with Uncle Roy, and Uncle Roy could talk about Inter in a positive way, and we could all gang up on him.
Lots got to talk.
It's only 3:30 in the morning right now in Italy, so it's probably up.
3:30. It's 10 o'clock here. How's it 3:30 over there?
6 hours, 6.5 hours,
isn't it?
3:30. Half-hour difference.
Okay. All right, whatever. 4 o'clock. I thought it was 9:30. Get off me.
Well, Chris, what were you saying about Lazio?
I mean, couldn't be a worse draw, right? Like, no one wants to play Bayern.
Yeah, I mean, but I'll say, like, in these tournaments, anyone can beat anyone. Like, it's for me, the draw is like all luck, and it's like anything can happen. Yeah, you don't want to be playing Bayern Munich, but if you're going to win the tournament, you're going to have to play these good teams anyway. So
I actually feel like all the Italian teams got a pretty hard draw. Like, who are the other
hard
teams?
draw?
Yeah. Real Madrid, Bayern. I'm talking about
their Europa League. All those teams should win in the Europa League. But
he said, "No thanks. I will steal the show." That's what we're counting on. We're trying to get our 25th subscriber.
But I don't know. I could see all these games, all these series going, either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just hope the Italian teams keep going. Can we get 3 teams in the Final Four? Really? That'd be nice.
So when these games start back up, in February or March, something like that?
Yeah, I think I canceled CBS.
February or March?
Yeah, because it goes the transfer window, and then they come back and re-register and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So it's nice. It's good. There's a break.
Because they got to take Gomez off the roster. So.
Transfer him to Lazio. Actually, no. If he played, he can't register for another. Or can he?
I think he can. Yeah, I think he can. You can register for the Champions League team. I think you can.
Yeah.
Why? Because the next. Yeah, because a while before it was if you register for another team, you couldn't play.
Yeah, but I don't think he's the only one. Like even Pogba was saying, if he gets transferred and he goes to a Champions League team, like I'm pretty sure he would be allowed to
go to Inter.
Yes.
All right. Anything? Oh, Rob, put up the schedule for next week because next week is tomorrow. They don't have Champions League this week, but let's cram in games starting tomorrow, which is so stupid.
I didn't even know that.
Wait, what'd you say? I wasn't listening. What did you say starts tomorrow? What did you say starts tomorrow? I was reading the chat.
There's games tomorrow. There's no Champions League this week, so they said, you know what? Let's throw in a week in the middle of the week. So
what the hell?
Yeah, it's annoying.
Wait, Juventus on the launch is Wednesday?
Yep. And I'm going to be working during all this, and it pisses me off.
Dan, do you know what time that game is?
No. They probably all agree.
And Inter Napoli, wow. They put their best game. They're so stupid. Let me just rant for a second. Italian soccer is run like a bunch of morons. Like,
yeah.
Why?
Okay. These are 2 of your marquee games. When you look at Inter Napoli and Juventus Atalanta, and you put it midweek. Like, no wonder Inter. Yeah, but no wonder they internationally. It's like they have no like. Can you flex those games? Like, why don't they make them late? I don't know. It's just stupid. You think the NFL would ever do that?
No way.
They would never do that. Like,
so 12:30.
12:30. Yeah, perfect. Amazing.
Lunchtime. Looks like I'm taking 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if they can. Games are on at 12:30 and 2:45. Our illustrious producers informed us.
All right, so you guys want to pick games for this week? What do you got?
Yeah, let's pick some games that we can't see because it's
let
a hard
us
time.
know in the chat, Parola, what you got. All right.
Yes, we want Parola to pick these games with us. So.
All right, I guess we'll take Juventus Atalanta, right? What do you got, Frank?
No, you go first. You pick the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 2-2 tie.
Frank?
I'm going to say 3-2 Juventus.
I will go Juventus win. I'll say 2-1 Juventus.
Okay. Frank.
This is last year.
Frank, your turn.
Let's go Inter Napoli. I'm going to say 3-1 Napoli.
I don't know, Frank. Come on, Inter's. This is all they got to play for. They're gonna go
Yep.
ball to the wall. Come on.
That's why That's why I kept the score close.
Did you say 3-1 Napoli?
Yep.
Chris?
A 2-1 Napoli.
Oh, Christ. You guys are both going Napoli. I'm going to say draw 2-2.
Okay. And what are you picking, Dan? What game?
Let's go with Spezia Bologna.
Oof.
And I'm going to say 2-2 draw.
3-1 Bologna. They're not going to lose after that embarrassment.
I'm going to say 2-1 Bologna. So
Okay.
Parolo has 3-1 Juventus, 1-1 for Inter Napoli, and give us some score on Spezia Bologna.
Yeah, I picked Spezia Bologna. I don't know why, but
Because you like them.
I know. But it's also one of the harder games, I think, to choose,
Yeah.
for the week.
All right. While he's typing his prediction, do we have anything else?
I don't think so. Stuff.
I heard we have a Twitter account.
We do. I tweeted right before this, and I said, "Hey, come listen," and I don't think anyone did.
Hey, Parola, you're thinking of a score really quick. Make sure you
I don't know. I haven't followed. When you what?
like us, like the video, Parola.
Yeah. Like,
Individual-
subscribe, all that kind of stuff.
Individual requests from people.
I don't know. Is that Bologna win or Spezia for 3-2? What do you got there? Adam, how long is this delay, by the way?
A day and a half.
15 seconds?
Pretty sure it's 15 minutes.
Pretty sure we recorded this in 2018.
Does anyone know who Leon plays this week?
I don't know, but he was my favorite character, I think, on What's Happening.
Oh, wait. Hold on, guys. We just got a Tifosi Time follower on Twitter. Woo, baby.
Really? Who was that?
It's our cousin, but
I have not followed us yet, just so you know. So,
all right, wrap this up, Frank.
that's a wrap.
Enjoy the games that we can't watch midweek. We'll be back next week to talk about 2 rounds because there'll be midweek and weekend week.
That's
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid.
It is kind of stupid.
Mm.
I'm writing a letter.
Who was lying?
Parola wants to know who Leon is.
All right, take it easy.
That is that's Daniel's pronunciation of Leon.
I hate you guys. Goodbye.
Adios, people.